I'm gonna throw some words at you that are gonna probably tickle your fancy. Let's say LS6, that's not really a word, that's more of a code. But let's say 1970 Chevelle, big block, 4-speed. Does that kind of make you feel giddy on the inside? It doesn't matter if you are a Chevy guy, Ford guy, Mopar man. If anybody says LS6, your ears perk up. Now we've got a Super Sport sitting back here behind me. That's a real deal 1970 ride. So we're gonna dive all up in this thing to see if it's real. Maybe, may not be. What if it is? What if it ain't? Time will tell us. Let's jump in here with both feet. So let's talk about the exterior of one of these cars. That's what, you know, everyone would see whenever you pull up to wherever you're at, gas station, car show, and you know, the car itself will tell you it's a 1970, for those who know. It's got the 4 different headlights in it, the grille is different, and even the hood and the general shape. One thing that a lot of folks like about a 70 is if you'll look at the fender and the quarter panel, they're kind of bulbous in a way. They're kind of rounded. You'll see where this one goes whoop, and then the quarter goes a little wider. That gives this thing like some curves. Now also with a 70 Chevelle, it has the iconic Cowl induction hood with the cool little flipper back here in the back. Now this old car is kind of rough and raunchy, to say it nicely, but it does have that. Now from inside of the car, it looks pretty cool because it's raised up just a little bit. And whenever you would stomp on the accelerator pedal, that little flap on this one would kick open, pulling fresh air for the engine to breathe and eat and enjoy in a way. Now another thing that these cars have on them is obviously the SS emblems. Now it has 2 up here, and then it'll have a nameplate here on the fender. This one has SS 396. Now what's kind of neat about this, if you look at it, and it's really why I like this old car, people clone these, but looking at this one, you can see that the emblem itself is old and deteriorated, and so is the fender. So if someone was to duplicate this or replicate an SS car, they would have to use old stuff, or this was done so long ago that Mother Nature had its effect on it. Now also on these cars, back here in the back, it has a distinctive feature that the SS cars have, and that is the little rubber impact strip that's here on the tail panel. I also believe that there's something different with the tail lights on one of these, but I don't remember what it is. It's either this is silver or it may be black. Let me know in the comments if you guys know if they are different. How are they different? Now another thing, talking about the lights that make an SS car different from a standard Malibu, is the turn signals, the little markers here. There's one on each side. This car has clear ones in it and would have amber bulbs. If it was just a regular old Malibu, well, those would be orange, the lenses would be. Ours has the clear ones in it. So from kind of where you're at with these here, those SS emblems, it kind of looks like it's a real deal car. But anybody could actually just install those. You could take a Malibu, take SS emblems, drill holes in the fender, put the different grille and the different emblem up here, same way with the rear bumper and those front marker lights. You could just swap it around. See, is it an SS or is it not an SS? Yet to be determined. With that big block Chevelle, them things made some significant power. You know, an LS6 Chevelle SS 4-speed, man, that was bad news. That was one of those cars what really made American muscle what it is. And that's also one of the reasons why these cars, the 70s, are so many of them that are, you know, they talk about, I've heard before, there's more 70 SS LS6s on the road today than GM ever made. And it's because some people have cloned them. They've just screwed and glued all that cool stuff onto them and made themselves an LS6. With us talking about that kind of power, An SS car has different suspension under it. It also has a different rear axle in it because it was a beefier component in a way, because it needed to be able to withstand the abuse that them big blocks were going to be throwing at them. The 396, well, technically it's a 402, and those 454s, well, they were, you know, quite brutal in a way. Man, you combine that with some spirited driving and then a 4-speed, well, GM want to make sure, because they gave you a warranty, you know, they got to make sure that the part itself would hold up. So they had to make that beefier unit. So let's take a look at the back side of this thing to see what it's got up under it. You know, with classic muscle cars like this one right here, there's been a lot of bad decisions made in these old kind of cars. You know, are they practical? No, not really. I mean, they made 400 or 500 horse back in the day, and they would just get downright stupid. I mean, but did people buy them and use them as practical cars? Absolutely. I've heard stories of people that had Hemi cars and LS6 Chevelles, and the guy drove it back and forth to work every day, which is kind of nuts to me. But still would be pretty awesome. I bet a few of you folks out there, even your mom, your dads, uncles, neighbors, I know they talk about it. Heck, my dad, Pops, he had a 69 Chevelle 396 automatic car, and he'll tell me stories of my sister when they had it. My mom drove the car like it was just a commuter car. It was a big block car, which is kind of nuts. Nowadays, what's funny about that is if you own a car similar to that, makes all that kind of power, it's funny how you won't even get it out if it looks like it's raining outside. They're like, oh no, nope, looks like there's a cloud. It might rain tomorrow. I can't chance it. Shoot, back then you threw groceries in it. You went and got gas, you raised cane in it. You didn't care, it was just a car. That's all it was. I mean, it may have been a special car, but it wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? It's just something. It's kind of funny to me how I'm just sitting here about to fall up under the tail end of this old Chevelle, and it's kind of got me thinking about a clip from one of those movies. It's a cartoon, but it makes me chuckle every time I see it.
Get a good peek, city boy.
So what we're looking for is this thing right here. What it will tell you is whether it's a 10 bolt or 12 bolt. All you would have to do is count the number of bolts that holds that cover onto the differential. Or, a cool little piece of trivia, if you can't see all of them, if you'll just look at the bottom two, if there's a bolt in the center at the lowest point, that tells you it's a 10 bolt. If at its lowest point there's 2 bolts, like this one, that tells you it's a 12er. Another thing that will tell you if it's an SS or not is whether it's got a sway bar like this car's got, or if the lower links under here are boxed in, because these cars have an option of a performance suspension under them. The springs that are on the front and rear of the car, the sway bars front and rear of the car, those links, and even some bracing on the frame. That was designed to give it more of that performance feel. This car right now does have a sway bar, and when it comes to the links, it does have the bolted on or boxed in links. That tells you that it is the high performance stuff from back in the day. Now I'm trying to look to see if the car has the brackets, and it actually does. What you're looking for on the links, and I know it's a little hard to see, wiggling around here, this boxing plate and this boxing plate is welded onto it. If it was just a regular Malibu, these plates weren't on there. What the purpose of them is, with this being on here, it makes it far more rigid. These things will kind of flex and twist a little bit, but not with that plate on it. It was just kind of an upgrade that they did. You can see it runs front to kind of back. You can actually feel under the car to see if it had them. Otherwise, your finger would fall in there like it does right here on this side. The other braces that these cars will have is this one right here. It bolts to the forward mount of or forward point of your lower control arm, and then it comes back up and connects to the cross member of the frame where your coil springs and all that stuff go onto. Finding these components under here, those box links, the sway bar, this extra bracket, that's a good sign. That's what you want to see if you're looking at an SS car. Because without those, well, that tells you that it ain't got the right parts on it. I'm looking here. Apparently this old car needs to be drove a bit more. We've got some squatters, you know what I'm talking about. They kind of moved in, built themselves a condo. And looks like I got a differential that's leaking. Good thing I did some inspecting. Who are we kidding? We just gonna make sure it's full and then drive it. Kind of looking up under here, trying to see if there's any other things that's wrong. That's not a good sign. Look at that. The darn exhaust pipe and the fuel line's touching each other. That ain't good for fuel at all. I mean, metal on metal and gasoline and exhaust. Found one more thing I'm gonna have to fix. So does that mean that this is an SS car? Nope, it really don't. You could bolt that 12 bolt under a regular car. You could put them brackets on a regular car. You could put those links on a regular car. So again, we still don't know if this is real deal, truly an SS big block 454 or 396 car. Verdict is still out. Now let's just see up here in the magic room. This is what everybody wants to see. What is under the hood? Obviously, it's a big block Chevy. It's had a few, let's say, modifications done to it. It's easy to see. It's got old school billet valve covers. It's been painted everywhere. And check out the mold and mildew on this thing. Whew, we need to get some of them scrubbing bubbles. I'm just gonna be quiet for just a second and let y'all soak this big block in. Okay, let's see what's wrong. Wrong intake, wrong air cleaner, wrong valve covers, wrong carburetor. It's missing the box over there, AC or heater box, don't have it at all. Inner fenders aren't supposed to be silver. Firewall isn't supposed to be silver. Control arm isn't supposed to be silver. Booster's not supposed to be silver. However, we do have some stuff that will tell you some yeses and some nos. Now, right over here, we do have disc brake and power brake, which is what this car would have on it. We can fall under here and you can see that there's a caliper and a rotor, so that tells us that the car does have disc brakes. That doesn't make it an SS, but an SS does have those options. And let's see here. What size engine is this? Well, we don't really know. It's a big block, we can see that, and that's from them big old 6-inch wide valve covers. But what we really need to do is take this alternator off, kind of roll it off to the side and figure out the numbers on there to see if it is the correct motor for this particular car. Now also with this thing, it has the wrong distributor in it because it's got an HEI unit in it. So someone probably did that in the efforts of making it a bit more reliable. Also, the radiator is wrong on this car because it's got an aluminum one in it, but it is a big one. It's a big old fat one. Now, one thing that is interesting about this big old fat radiator is that it has a tab on this side or that side, or maybe both, that makes it a big block core support. So let's fall up under this thing and let me show you what I'm talking about. Y'all check out my gasoline leak. Now looking at the core support, this one is kind of rusty. It does have that on it. But over here on this side is not what you're looking for. This is the passenger side. So if we'll slide over here to the driver, it will tell you that this thing is a big block radiator support. And the way you know that is from this thing right here. This is added on there because this tank is a lot larger than they had from just your regular small block Chevys. They put a fatter radiator to accommodate that big block, and they had to do this to accommodate, I believe, the petcock over there. Because the radiator being thicker, it kind of interfered with it. So if you're looking at a big block car, you gotta have this part on there for it to be correct. Now looking at this thing, it is crunchy. You can see where it's got rust in it, and almost looks like somebody's done some body work, or I don't know, that may be just the thin metal that it has. But what's interesting to me is it's old. Like, it's crunchy. It takes years and years and years for this stuff to be that way. But does that make it a big block car? With it having this age and all on it and that tab, does that make it a big block car? Nope, not in the least, because you too could bolt that part onto the front of this car. Whew. We're getting deeper though. Before we go to taking the car apart right there, there's another thing that will tell you if it's a big block car. Well, if it's a big block part. On a big block car, they have a special steering shaft that goes right through here, your intermediate shaft. This one doesn't have the correct one on it. It's supposed to have a bolt down here on this end and a bolt right there from the research that I found. However, if you'll notice, this one is silver. That means somebody's had it off and painted it. That doesn't make it or not make it a big block car, but it's supposed to have that special one on there. This car does not have that piece. So I'm curious if someone just swapped it out back in the day. So this is kind of one of them like, well, that's one thing that it's supposed to have that it don't have. Why don't it have it? Well, I don't know. I was hoping that I didn't have to take the alternator off, but I am going to have to take the alternator off. You know what's funny is I've taken stuff before working on some of these high performance cars that you go like, you do the run the numbers on a car, or the guy say, oh man, that ain't the right motor for the car, and you're just kind of like bummed out because of it. Well, we actually hit one before. It was a big block Corvette. And so we did run the numbers on it because the guy's like, it's not the numbers matching cars. I checked the VIN. So, because what happens is whenever they made these engines, they put partial VINs onto that stamping to match the actual car itself. And when we ran those numbers, like I was telling you about, the engine came back as a LS5. Not LS6, but an LS5 Chevelle engine. Guy told us it was just a 454. Well, just a 454 was an LS5. So it's a hotter than just your standard farm truck big block. And it's hotter than the original Corvette motor that was supposed to be in it. Yeah, it kind of like sacrificed that car, but it was a way cooler find when you find a piece of American history that is just of that caliber. Yeah, kind of made us giddy. Let's do a little cleaning in here and see if we can see what kind of numbers is on this thing. All right, we got some brake cleaner and a little scrubby brush. We're gonna put this little light of mine, put her right there. Spray her down in yonder. Yep. And then some little scrubby. This is kind of exciting. Yeah, this is really kind of exciting. See what this thing is. I've owned this car for a while. Really, we just out enjoying the car. That's all we bought it for. Okay. Last three numbers on this thing is a 869. So if we got an 869 on the block and an 869 on the VIN, that means this block matches this car body. 528. Aw, man. Well, that's kind of a bummer. That tells us that this motor has been replaced into this car. Those don't match that. So what is that motor? I guess we should look at the code that's on it to see what it is. That's kind of a bummer. So, is it a big block car? We don't know. But what we can know is that this just isn't the numbers matching correct motor for this car. Well, first things first. I'm curious what this motor is, so I'm gonna jump over here, jump on the interwebs to see what this thing is. I gotta get the 3-digit or 2-digit little letter code off of here to see what it is. Now this car, it has a CWX. That will tell you what the engine came out in. Grab my book here and flip this thing open to not Monza, not Cadillac. Well, we're looking in the Chevelles, CWX right there. Oh, it's a 454 with a turbo hydromatic, but it shows it's out of a 74. Bum, 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 bum. But it's a 454. So is that good news or is that bad news? Well, it'd been a lot better if the motor would have matched the car body. That way it'd been numbers matching engine and car. However, it could be worse. This thing isn't a stock 454. I knew the motor wasn't stock to the car because it just ran too good. And the exhaust note on it, it's got a camshaft. So I knew that somebody had, let's say, done some work on the inside. We're still working on trying to figure out if this car is a real deal big block car though. So what I want to do now, just for the sake of it, is decode my body tag here, or the Cowl tag. So we're looking at the body tag here. First thing you'll see is the 70-13637. What does that tell us? That tells us that it is a 1970 car, it is a V8 car, and it is the Sport Coupe model, meaning it's a 2-door, and then you've got your TR, which is your trim, and it says 791. That tells me that originally this car came with white interior, or ivory interior. You see a 48-48 PNT. That will tell you that this car was a dark green upper and a dark green lower. So essentially, it was a non-vinyl top green car. Doesn't really tell us anything much else. It will tell us the actual month, day, year, that thing when it was made, but that's really about it. Let me grab my little camera stand here and we can dive into the inside of the car, the interior. This old car is kind of rough. And if you'll notice, it doesn't have ivory interior. That code did tell us that it had bucket seats, not a bench seat, so that's good, but they are black in color. Yeah, completely wrong color. Now, one thing that an SS car has that the other ones don't is, one, a steering wheel that says Super Sport, and two, round gauges. The other style, a Malibu, has a rectangular gauge with a needle that sweeps pretty, from left to right. This has the correct dash in it, but again, you could swap this part and that part. I mean, they're just bolted into place. They didn't make a different car for these two components. So again, this doesn't actually tell us, yes, it's a big block. No, it's not a big block. You can look over here and look at the big 4-speed on it. It does have the white ball and it does have the console in it, which is pretty bitchin'. And potentially, one other thing that you would want to check out, if I can slide off in here, is kind of the tunnel itself. You can see This thing's got like the factory, like sound deadening on it. And it's really hard to replicate that stuff of that kind of age. Which, you know, looks like it's originally a 4-speed car. Got that cool Hirsch logo on it. Oh yeah, it's got a little bit of rust in the floor. But that's how we let like the water out of it from the windows leaking. So yeah, looking at my old dash here, you can see someone has modified it to put in one of them rectangular radios years ago. They've put some aftermarket gauges in it. I don't know if it's 100% accurate. I don't know it. Oh, there may be. I'm still warm a little bit. It's kind of sad, but still kind of cool. How many miles is on the car? Can you see? It's really, really hard to see. The number is 36504. It's not terrible, but I bet that's probably 236,000. So, how do you know for sure this thing is? Well, what we need is a build sheet. Yep, we need a build sheet. Now, this car has been changed out, the interior obviously, or someone has painted it. And I don't think that's the case, meaning I really think someone has just changed the upholstery in it. So what I want to do is I want to see if I can find a build sheet. Oftentimes they put a build sheet in the back seat of the car. They're kind of up under the bottom of them. They have other locations. They have them, sometimes they're on the top of the gas tank, but when I bought this car, it actually had a fuel cell in the trunk, and I put a replacement gas tank up under it and did away with the fuel cell, so I know there's not one in there. They could also be in the dash somewhere. They could be in the headliner. They've also been told that they've put them in, or they used to just stuff them in the doors or inside the quarter panels if the door panels were off, because that was just kind of trash back then. They didn't really have any way. And if they just stuffed it in the car, they didn't have to throw it away. They threw it away with the car. So yeah, so let's just jerk the back seat out of this thing. And I don't know if we'll find anything, but if we were to find a build sheet, instantaneously we would be able to validate this car. Yes, it is a big block car. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, got that one loose. This is the moment of truth. Not a good sign. Not a good sign with this piece. Usually what happens is they just kind of stick it under the springs. There isn't anything here. We got spiders running around though. Just kind of double checking. Making sure I don't see nothing inside of there. Nope. Let's take the back out. Come this far, I'd like to know if it was in there or not. Come on, baby. There's one side. Oh, there's that side. Come on. There's that side. Whew. Well, we found a rat nest. No build sheet though. You can see there's no paperwork. There's a giant rat's nest or mouse nest, but no paperwork. None whatsoever. If you could find any kind of paper, it would be worth taking the door panels out of it. So while we're still digging around in here, I had mentioned earlier that it could be in the dash. Now, obviously you would say, Man, is it in the glove box? Did you look in the glove box? I didn't look in the glove box because I knew it's not in the glove box. Because it's not in the glove box. See what I mean? These are just like, y'all know the deal, like insurance. Oh, man. Apparently I need to, there's a bill. Nothing crazy. But what if it was on top of there? Jeez. Fixed it. This is the first time that I've actually looked for the build sheet in this car. I've owned this thing for a few years now, and really and truthfully, the build sheet doesn't mean a whole lot to me because the car itself is just a cool piece. I enjoy driving this car, ripping on it, pulling through first, second, and even hard into third gear, and that alone puts a smile on my face way more than just having that one piece of paper into my hand. And yeah, is the car perfect? No, it's not. Is it pretty? Nah, not really, but it's fun. And that's what I enjoy about this thing. I enjoy that I get to just have a big block car that I can go and have fun with it. And honestly, I've actually got my kiddos who really enjoy this thing. My daughter, Ellie, or as I call her, Hubcap, I taught her how to drive a stick with this car. My 15-year-old daughter at the time learned how to drive a standard shift in a big block Chevelle. That's kind of some cool points if there ever was. And to me, that's what this stuff is all about, is just enjoying them. Whether or not it's rare or made up, that's irrelevant. All I can tell you is if you have a rare piece, that's cool. If you don't have a piece at all, you're slacking. Okay, so we know that the engine doesn't match our car. So what if you're thinking about the transmission? Well, I can tell you this, that I know the transmission that is in this car doesn't match it right now because I swapped it out. When I bought the car a long time ago, it was wiped out. Like third gear synchro was gone. The second gear was almost gone. So I had another one and we swapped it out. So I'm real curious. I never checked it. So let me cruise over here to the body shop side. We'll dig this thing out just to see if it matches the VIN. They also have one stamped on it. And if you're curious why they did that, it wasn't really theft. Do you know why? Can you guess? It makes sense once you get told the right answer. It was for warranty work. Okay, I think it's right back here. So, a little more cleaner. Oh, looks like there's a number already showing. And again, I don't know if this one is the original out of that car, but I can tell you it's the one we took out of it when we first bought the thing. There's some numbers, but that ain't the ones. But that code is a good code for us in all reality. What that does tell us is with it being the P, that says it's a Muncie. Obviously we knew that because it's all aluminum. And it is a 1970. That's what that O stands for. The D, that tells you that it was April 29th, and the B represents an M21 close ratio. That's a good sign. So after doing another little search, got some more information. Trying to get it close there for you guys to see. The last three are 528. That's great news. That's absolutely wonderful news. That tells us that this transmission did come out of our car, meaning as it rolled off the assembly line. And it being a M21 close ratio, that's even better because of Think about it. That's more of a performance-minded transmission. And that kind of helps to confirm or make the needle fall a little closer to yes when it comes to, is this really the real deal? Or is it a fake? Or is it a clone? Yeah, it's leaning more toward yes. So what do you guys think? Is this 1970 Chevelle Super Sport big block 4-speed the real thing? I'm gonna let you guys decide. I have my opinion. You let me know in the comments. Dude, we're kidding. This thing's the real deal. In my professional opinion, it is right. Reason I say that, there's just too many things that makes the needle fall toward yes than there is toward no. Now, one way to make this, let's say, easy, and that's with documentation. If you have the build sheet, if you have the original window sticker, or if you had like a protecto plate, that kind of thing. That's why when guys are buying collector cars, they ask for paperwork. That kind of makes it super easy to finally find some of that stuff. However, you guys, you gotta be a little cautious with that as well, because paperwork can be forged. You know what I mean? There's fake paperwork out there. You can buy reproduction, all of that stuff. With the modern times that people are, shoot, if they can fake a $100 bill, you better bet they can fake a build sheet on a Chevelle from 1970. It has the right brakes, it has the right sway bars, it has the right rear axle, it has the right links, and it has the right upper brackets that a big block car would have on it. Up under the hood, it didn't have the right steering shaft in it, and it doesn't have the correct motor in it. Is that a deal breaker for me? Not really. I mean, it'd be cool if it had the factory numbers matching motor in it, but more than likely with this car, somebody was probably out enjoying a big block Chevelle, ripping through the gears, and then the next thing you know, that big block was no more. So they swapped it out and put a 454 in it. And I'm here to tell you folks that that dude that's up under the hood of this thing right now will flat square dance in a round hole. Yes, sir. That thing is a whole lot of fun to drive. Now, luckily for me, I do have the factory transmission that come out of that car. And it being an M21 close ratio, that's what this thing would have had in it. And it has the serial number stamped onto it to match the VIN in the car. So that's a big plus. I could probably check on the rear axle to see if it's date coded right, but I'm gonna say it hasn't ever been swapped by the things that the way it looked. It does have the correct gauges in it. It has the correct bucket seats in it, console, and it being that big transmission hump that 4-speed has in it, it was the original one. Nobody like chewed it up and it looked like they'd cut it out with a set of vice grips. So that tells me it's a real deal 4-speed car. So you guys see where I'm saying. There's just way too much information left on this car that tells you it's a real deal super sport. I really would like to restore this thing back to its factory colors. Basically, it's originally that green car, top and bottom with white interior, and that is a mean looking ride. You know, it might even get some white racing stripes on the hood. So guys, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you one thing if you've enjoyed this video. Stop for just 1 minute and hit that subscribe button. So guys, you know what's up. Y'all know what I always say, because by all means, when you're out ripping on a big block car, keep it between the ditches. Thanks for your support. Hope you guys like my car.